Hello all and welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video covering a lot more about Dovu. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think it probably is going to be one of those blue chip projects of the Hedera ecosystem, and maybe well worth you guys doing a little bit more research to pick up some of those tokens while they are on a bit of a discount. Anyway, if we flick over today and we look at the fear and greed index, not much of a change between now and the last couple of weeks really. We're still in an extreme fear phase of this market, with the quantitative figure being around 21. So, you know, my thoughts on this, we're still in this just sort of accumulation phase really. Some cryptos have turned green towards the end of the week, rounding off their weekly performance. We can see XRP up nearly 9% and a bit, XLM up nearly 7% on the week as well. Hedera for the most part, again, just begins to trade sideways. So nothing crazy there. We can also see Quant up at the top, 1.2% up on the week. I think this is probably seriously undervalued as a cryptocurrency. Actually flicking over, I saw this nice infographic about Quant, which I thought I'd share with you guys. An enterprise operating system that interconnects blockchains, enterprise platforms and networks, completely interoperable, connects any network to any network without overhead or limits. Hyper decentralization, which allows applications that can run, store data on multiple different blockchains. And then we can see here you have your existing network with an overledger effectively. You've got your multi-chain apps above the overledger. Beneath that, you've got the enterprise permission blockchains, public permission blockchains, and other blockchains. And Quant supports majority of these other than Neo, Cosmos, Polkadot, and Aeon. Really powerful sort of cryptocurrency or project in the terms that it focuses on this interoperability. And really there are only sort of two main players in the interoperability space, that being sort of Quant and Chainlink. You know, once these big ecosystems continue to develop, you need ways to effectively bridge those. And Quant is a great example of how that can be done quickly and at scale. Another tweet I wanted to look at was again from Blockworks. They push out a lot of really good sort of macro content, as well as nuggets of information. But there's a comment here from Steve Wozniak, who is one of the co-founders of Apple, with his comment turning around and saying that Bitcoin is going to $100 in his opinion. We see this sort of shared by some big businesses as well. I think JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs have come out in the past and turned around and said they believe that Bitcoin will sort of approach that $100,000 mark. And I think in the long run, this is probably a strong possibility. If we continue seeing the cryptocurrency market grow at a sort of compound annual growth rate of roughly sort of 15 to 20% year on year, bearing in mind that compound annual growth rate smooths and accounts for those like bear market years that we've had between the bull market cycles. As the total market cap of the crypto space continues to increase, majority of that capital, because the Bitcoin dominance is still around 45 to 50% roughly, a lot of that capital that enters the crypto market naturally flows into projects like Bitcoin, and then secondary to that, Ethereum as well. Whether or not Ethereum deserves that secondary status, it has the first mover advantage as a smart contract layer one, and it will probably hold that crown for a decent length of time to come. There's something to be aware of, that Bitcoin and Ethereum probably aren't going anywhere, even if their technology is completely outdated. They are not green, they're terrible for the planet, just because it has that first mover and captive advantage on the markets, as well as being the mainstay effectively. If you talk to many people that aren't familiar with the crypto space at all, they'll probably only know two cryptocurrencies, that being Bitcoin and that being Ethereum. That just goes to show the kind of namestay power that those projects actually have, whether or not we believe in them. Flicking over, there's some more information about Stader Labs I'll be covering on today as we start ramping up into Q2 for sort of DeFi and staking over on Hedera. So Stader, if we flick down here on DeFi Llama, we can see they've now got 3 audits present against them, which they've passed against all 3 of them. So this is big news for Stader. We can also see that the total value locked has begun to increase, and we're now up towards $750 million roughly in the total value locked over on the Stader network. I'm presuming this is early access adopters that have been given effectively a free pass to use the platform ahead of time. It's probably part of their testing protocols. They've actually released an article over on Medium, so this was yesterday, the 12th of March, the Stader token launch and all you need to know. And this talks about their token generation event, or TGE, for the SD or Stader token, which will be on the 15th of March. So that's just in a couple of days. That is Tuesday next week at 2 p.m. UTC. The token generation event will go live. So ST tokens will be available to claim by qualified users only. So community farmers, raffle winners, and public sale participants. And SD will be available on multiple centralized and decentralized exchanges. So after the token generation event goes live, you guys will have access to pick up some of these SD tokens if you so wish. SD tokens will be dispersed to the following sets of users: all stakers who farmed SD tokens in the community farming event for stake pools Luna X, Luna LP, users who got allocation of SD tokens in the CoinList private sale held on the 25th of January 22 and have confirmed their wallet address, all our product testers and contest winners who are promised rewards in SD tokens and have confirmed their wallet addresses. All users claiming their farmed SD tokens need not register anywhere. You will qualify for the tokens automatically. However, for the CoinList allottees, only the ones that have submitted or confirmed their wallet addresses within the deadline will be able to claim SD tokens on the 15th. How to claim SD tokens, I won't run through this. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys if you know that you're eligible because you won some contests or been sort of exposed early to the SD or Stader project. I implore you to give this a read. More importantly for us lot who are not eligible for the token generation event, will SD be listed on any exchanges? Yes, it's going to be listed on a couple of different CEXs and DEXs. So Hbar, Gate and BitGet. We're also under the due diligence process with several exchanges and will announce once they confirm listing. So hopefully we will see some slightly larger exchanges. Unfortunately, I don't have accounts with any of these. So I don't know which DEXs they're listing, but these are all centralized exchanges. I will have some more news for you guys around the 15th if they get this on any decentralized exchanges. SD tokens will be claimable via CW20. So again, going into more information about the claiming aspect of this. Over on Stader Labs' Twitter as well, as I mentioned, they are gearing up, get set for 15th of March. So it looks to be quite a big launch for their token generation event. We'll see how this plays out going forward, and I will keep you guys informed in the loop. One of the other things I wanted to talk on, if we're talking about sort of DeFi, DEXs and sort of staking for Hedera, is SaucerSwap. So our dev team has been pulling out all the stops. Our router contract just passed all unit tests running on the Hedera network. The router contract is what intelligently calls the pair contract for the user. It's basically what does the swapping. So built on Hedera Source. So we can see here that their contract execution statuses on the Hedera network have all been successful. 11 of them passing. So we can see that they are ramping up and moving forward at quite a rate to get their DEX online. I've said it before and I'll say it again, this will probably be the first decentralized exchange on Hedera. There aren't very many projects that have got the same sort of roadmap at the moment. So very, very bullish on the platform in general from that aspect. Again, I've said it before, just be careful and be mindful that this is a very early project. There are still some sort of, sticking points with the platform that the dev team isn't doxed, etc. There's always potential that something could go wrong with this launch, and they may not turn out to be what they quite have said they are. That being said, I do believe in SaucerSwap. They seem to have a very active community. They're active on Discord and Twitter. They seem to be engaging with Hashpack, who is a very trustworthy sort of company or project in the space. The last thing I want to touch on this video is TASKBAR. So this is another use case built on top of Hedera, and a very good one at that. TASKBAR is a decentralized service marketplace in the retail industry. So for those of you who followed my economic sectors thing, this ticks another economic sector off of Hedera's involvement list. But the overview being, TASKBAR is a peer-to-peer freelancing platform allowing users to connect and provide services to each other. The challenge being TASKBAR's vision required using cryptocurrency and token issuance to sustain task-based payments with predictable low fees. Something I mentioned many times about one of the key or golden qualities of Hedera is the sustained low fees, effectively pegged to the dollar amount. The solution being the Task marketplace makes use of Hedera's native cryptocurrency Hbar and the Hedera token service for fast and reliable payments, as well as governance. So the idea being is an online marketplace like eBay, Airbnb, and Uber connect buyers and sellers for a common need. To do this job, they take a percentage of the transaction, often upwards of 20%. TASKBAR is creating a more efficient marketplace through the use of blockchain or distributed public ledger technology. TASKBAR is a decentralized service marketplace in the same vein as its centralized counterparts Upwork, TaskRabbit, and others, where anyone can request or deliver a task. Unlike those centralized applications, those hired upon completion of the job will earn cryptocurrency while growing their TASKBAR reputation, while also able to support any task. Highlighted examples are currently include graphic design, IT support, blockchain consulting, and more. Touching on the conversations we had with Connor at Hedera Starter the other day on the live stream, you'll all be aware that I made references to, for example, Latin America. A huge proportion of their economy is driven by freelance work. Also considering that their native domestic currencies are not the strongest in the world, and they suffer from heavy inflation due to quantitative easing and the political ties within those countries. A platform like TASKBAR could be very revolutionary in those types of markets. And also, if we look to the Far East as well, in the APAC regions, we could see a platform like this becoming very popular. The last thing they talk about as well is scalable payments. So because the payouts run on TASKBAR, the payouts on TASKBAR run on Hbar, the Hedera network's native cryptocurrency, TASKBAR wanted to make sure that even the smallest of tasks were economically viable. That's possible due to the incredibly low and sustainable fees over on Hedera. And it's something that I mentioned before as well. These enterprise solutions need sustainably low fees. You cannot have, for example, a user signing up to this platform and requesting a payout in January, and their fees are really low for their payout. And then suddenly in February, because there's a spike in demand or usage of the network, the fees are suddenly 1,000% higher than they were in January. You know, people need to rely on these income streams to sort of feed their lives and fuel their lives. So really important key aspect of Hedera is those low fees. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, engage with me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well for more future content. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.